witches.
Hi, hello.
Oh my gosh. Just finished reading like 20 minutes ago.
For real.
Chapter
But
61.
we're here. All
Here
right.
we are. Okay, so first things first, right off the bat, I thought Helion's power was curse breaking,
It is.
but he can sense things. That's
Maybe
how
he
he
can
found
sense things.
Feyre. Maybe because
Uh,
she's made.
maybe. Maybe he sensed the power that she has.
Maybe that's it. I was just like, I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me. But I guess that makes it less of a red flag because, like, the last thing I said last time was that was a big red flag. How the fuck did he find her?
And like, why is he there? Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, Helion found Feyre in the middle. Um, right after the cereal was murdered by Ianthe and her two crones,
Fucking
and
bitch.
and she led them to the Weaver's house and led them inside where they met their demise. And then she went back to the cereal, and then Helion was like, "We have to go." And there you go. Now we're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. And then everyone's pissed at her, especially Moore,
Yeah.
because she didn't tell anyone where she was going. And Reese is like, just leave a note, dude. Like, what the fuck?
I know
Which
you have your reasons, but just like let us know sometime.
Which, to be fair, like, if they had asked Elaine, that would have been her note because Elaine knew exactly where the fuck she was going.
Right.
But
Well, and here's the thing too. Like, Fairy literally gets upset when no one tells her where they're going.
yeah,
But but she's like, "Why is everyone so mad at me for like doing this
yeah. Well,
without telling you?" It's like,
I think part of it too is that she's like so used to Tamlin, who like wouldn't have let her go if she
mm,
told him that like she didn't tell anyone, but like you're not with him anymore. This They have proven to you over and over and over again that they are not like that.
yeah, and they
Is that
like
my cat or
care
your
about.
cat?
Not mine. That's yours.
Oh my
My
gosh.
cat sounds like a bird chirping. Your cat actually meows.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But
Anyway.
um, yeah. Anyways, I'd be mad too if I were them because it's like,
Yeah, we're in the middle of a fucking war. Like, what if they
right?
assumed that Hybern took her? Like,
Well, and they want Hybern wants her.
right. And they say that too. Like, oof.
But anyways, so now she's just pissed off, and Moore's pissed off at her too. So now they're gonna have a petty fight.
But before that, I am fucking dying because Cassian is like on his fucking deathbed. Like, the healer has just finished like stitching him back together. His guts had been falling out, and Azrael had been holding them in. And Reese is like, "You and your damn theatrics nearly got you killed. I'm not pissed. I'm furious." And Cassian says, and I literally like wrote clap while I was like, "Tell him, Cassian." Okay. Because
Do
Cassian's like,
it.
"So you're allowed to be mad about our choices to protect you, and we're not allowed to be furious with you for your self sacrificing bullshit?" And I'm like, "Yes. Yes." So
I
just
love
needed
that.
to say that.
I love that Reese just is like, your guts were hanging out, you stupid prick.
Right? Like, dude. You don't get to disregard orders you don't like. Like, fuck off.
Yes, I
Anyway,
do.
I thought that part was funny.
Yeah, right. Um. So yeah, after all of this, uh, Moore says a shitty comment to Nesta. Nesta, you could tell, is like upset about what happened to Cassian, but is like too afraid to basically enter the either too afraid or too proud. I'm not really sure, but she is not entering the tent, and she's just kind of standing there. Moore sends a shitty comment her way, and Nesta is kind of caught off guard, but then grabs a bucket and goes to fill it up with water. Um, and then Feyre tries to make a funny comment, but Nesta's not having it, so that's when they're like, all right, it's about to go down. And no matter how much she's trying to justify her reasoning, she's just not understanding why anyone is pissed off right now. She's
Yeah.
just like, I had to do this for the information. And she's like, okay, you could have fucking told someone. Like, you're a high lady, blah, 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 all that. And then
I do
she
think that
has,
Moore started to take it a little too far.
yeah, I
She
agree. I
started
think
to take
they
it a
were
little
just
too far. And then Pharaoh. Woo.
took it out of the field.
Yeah, like,
Uh,
whoa.
it was completely uncalled for because she literally is just like, well, what about the fact that you lie to us every single day? You do this, you do that. And Moore is just like, okay, like shutting down. She doesn't want to talk about it. And then she basically confronts Moore about Azrael and Cassian and Helion and her actions to do with men and everything around and not, going for it. And it's like, that was uncalled for.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with this. That was.
Yeah, like you're just being petty fighting at this point because you're pissed off.
It was also kind of funny foreshadowing, though, when she was like, "You're lying to yourself and all of us every single day," and I was just
Yeah.
like now looking back at that after finishing these chapters, I'm like,
Huh.
huh,
Makes
okay,
sense.
yeah,
Well, I told you from the get go, I was like, no, Moore's going to be your favorite character. Like, fuck everybody else.
yeah.
It's Moore.
I was like, there was literally a part where she was talking, and we'll talk about it here in a minute, but I was literally crying.
Right? Yeah. So
So,
that's all I had for chapter 61.
me too.
Chapter
Chapter
62.
62. Amryn is here now. Auntie
Woo!
Amryn. Um,
Grumpy
and
old
what
Amryn.
page is that? 550. Page 550. I literally drew a laughing face and wrote Nessa, so I'm trying to figure out what I was. Oh. So Amryn. I just
You just
remembered
find it
what
and then
I
you just.
wrote. I'm pretty sure I laughed out loud when I first read it too. So Amryn comes with the book and a bag of bones and stones for Nesta to use to scry with, basically. And Nesta lifted the bag. So I scatter these like some backstreet charlatan and it'll find the cauldron. And I was fucking dying. Like, and then on the next page, like it continues. Amryn's like, 3 stones for the faces of the mother, 4 bones for whatever reason the charlatans came up with. I can't be bothered to remember. And I'm just fucking dying. Like, I thought it
And
was so funny.
it's so funny because it's like Amryn has her own little sense of humor that she sometimes shares with a lot of people, but you can kind of see it a little bit more when Nesta's around after the fact that Nesta and Amryn spent so much time,
Yes.
I guess, I don't training. I wasn't gonna say
And I feel
studying,
like
but
they're
training.
so much alike.
Oh yeah, like hidden
Like,
things, wanting
yeah.
to hide. They probably have similar powers too.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Um, okay, and then so Nesta is like trying to cast her mind toward the cauldron and throw the stones and bones and all that. And I just love Nesta and Cassian in this scene. Like, Cassian is still like beat the fuck
On,
up, barely able to
yeah,
stand. Like,
almost on death's door,
yeah. And he like
and
just
he's just
holds her
there.
basically and puts his hand around her or his arm around her and is like, nothing can harm you here. And I just love them and I can't wait to read a book that's centered around them, even though I think I know what that means and like why that's gonna happen. And I no longer think it's Farah and I'm sad about it, but what's funny is I wasn't nearly as sad when I thought Farah was gonna die. But now that I think it's gonna be Reese, I'm actually kind of sad about it. I was like,
Oh
Farah
my!
can go.
I don't fucking care. Wait, Reese.
Yeah, but now that it's Reese, I'm like, oh. But I also feel
Oh,
like I think part of
Reese.
me is disappointed in that just because I feel like that's very predictable. Like Reese is very self-sacrificing.
Yeah,
So like it's kind of predictable that he would do something to get himself killed.
for real though.
Not that I
But
know that's going to happen yet, but
yeah, that's just
I
your
I
assumption at this point.
feel that one of them has to die for us to change the main character, like the main couple of the book.
Yeah.
Excuse me and my slurping.
No, you're good. I think it was actually really cool because, like, once Nesta actually did reach out and find the cauldron and locate where it was, she was just kind of standing there, like, scared. And Feyre, and it just, I recall this conversation that they had before where it was just Nesta's like, "You ever did that to me?"
Right, right, in the library or in the study at the House of Winds.
Yeah, yeah. And then all of a sudden she's just like, "Here I come."
You're
Straight in
right.
there, like with her and helping her out. And I was like, that's really nice of them, or like of her to be able to, I don't
Yeah.
know, be able to do that and pull her out of it like safely.
It was also terrifying though. Like that whole scene was like
And seeing the amount of
scary.
like, yeah, seeing the amount of like soldiers are out there. And she just witnessed a battle today, and Cassian, who I still believe is her like mate, basically almost
Right.
die. And that wasn't anything compared to what she's seeing now. So like it's
Right.
terrifying.
Well, and on top of that, the cauldron is like aware that they're there. That's
It's like
fucking
watching them,
terrifying.
right?
Like,
Because it's like it's a inanimate object in a way, or what it appears to be is an
yeah.
inanimate object, and then all of a sudden it's just
It's like,
watching,
hey,
and like they could
see
feel it
you.
watching. It's like
Yeah,
terrifying.
that is terrifying. Um, so then they
But
come back out
then
of her mind and she throws the stones and bones and finds where they're at.
and
Um,
turns out Hybern played a trick on them.
yes. Yes. It made them move to where they are. So now they're too weak to winnow across the river and they're going to be farther behind. Um, but this whole time that they're like talking about like we don't have enough forces no matter what, like we don't have um, enough um, even if Tamlin joins us and it's too late to get Miriam and Drakon and like all of this, and I'm like, what about Briaxis? Like, did we forget about Briaxis? Because I feel like he could take on
Well,
a lot
they
of the
don't
army.
know. They don't
Reese
know.
does though. Didn't she
Does
tell
he?
Reese? I thought she told
I thought it
him.
was just a secret between him and
Was it just
Amryn.
Amryn?
Because
For some reason. Hmm.
I thought it was just between Amryn and her, and Reese was the only one who knows about what is it, the come and talk to him kind of thing.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh no, I think you're right because I think he was like, did you specify or something like that?
Yeah. 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 But
I
yeah,
don't
I was
know.
just like, what about him? And then I don't know. Because it's like they're not factoring him into their plans. And maybe they don't want everyone else to know that they've done. I don't know.
Well, and uh I think at this point, I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to use him as like a secret weapon, like find out where they're at and then just unleash them.
Right. Makes
But
sense.
I don't know if it'll if the sheer size of the army has deterred that.
Maybe. I don't know. Um, my last thing is like the last sentence of this chapter.
Oh, yeah. I put another I was like, "Ooh, another couple enters the field."
I just wrote the kiss because I was just like, ah, finally.
Yeah, so
Because,
Varian and Amryn are
yes.
essentially, I guess, a couple. I don't know. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
really official, but
but they definitely have some passionate feelings for each other, if nothing else.
yeah.
Um, and I love that it shocked her that he did that he kissed her. I was like, I love that. So, and that is the end of chapter 62.
Well, uh, this next chapter hurt my soul.
Yeah, yeah,
It just is
agreed.
really, really sad.
Well, and kind of creepy too. Like, first of all, on that first page there, Cassian asks Nesta if she wants to eat dinner or go to bed. And Feyre's like, and I honestly couldn't tell if he meant it as some kind of invitation. I debated telling him he was in no shape. Mind your own goddamn business, Feyre.
Right?
Like, it's none of your. Ugh, shut up. She gets on my nerves.
Get out people's love lives, damn it.
Oh, yeah, like, keep your
You
nose to
already like
yourselves.
fought with somebody because you got into their business. Like, back
Well,
out.
and just like, what was it, a couple chapters ago, or a few chapters ago, they had a whole battle, and her and Reese, like, messed around, and they were covered in blood and nasty shit, and beat up, and just shut up, Feyre. Mind your own
Right?
business. It's none of your business. That ends up not happening though. Nesta says bed, but she clearly is just tired and ready for bed.
Yeah, she's just, I'm over it.
Um, and then they all go to bed and they're all asleep. And Feyre has a dream. And the cauldron is like
Oh, yeah.
flickering, and the
It's
cauldron is
like,
basically calling to all of the people who were made.
yeah, and she's like dreaming about
Grayson.
Grayson's estate, not estate, sorry, Grayson at the edge of the camp telling Elaine, like, hey, I can fix this, come to me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and she just like, man, it felt real, it did this or it did that. Um, what is it? What else happened?
Well, and like Amryn, Nesta, and Feyre can all hear the cauldron, and Az can see the shadows like running from it.
Recoiling or something, yeah.
And it takes them all a minute. Um, but they were like talking about how they could hear it because they were made and they could sense it. And then Az goes, "What about Elaine?" And they all fucking
Everyone's like,
panic.
fuck.
Yeah. And then Elaine is gone.
Where
They
did
go
he
to
go?
her
We don't
tent
know.
and she is gone. Um, yeah.
And now everyone is just panicking because Feyre's dream of Grayson at the Edge wasn't a dream. It was actually kind of like a vision of what was actually happening.
Right. And like the
And it's like,
cauldron was using that to pull
yeah.
lure Elaine out.
And it's like, poor Elaine, like, she just can't catch a break. And
Right.
she really just needs a damn break from all of this nonsense.
Yes, the poor girl, like
Like,
shit.
she was super happy. She had a garden. She had a fiance. Then she got dragged into this mess. Now she's Faye. She got broken up with essentially because of the fact that she is Faye. Now she's heartbroken because she truly cared and loved this guy. And then now she's like unable to see them. Now she's like being a seer and she's just kind of there. And
Yeah, it's just a mess. And now she's gone. She's been taken by the cauldron.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
chapter
chapters.
64. This crazy bitch.
I know.
So
And
basically, Az is like, I'm going. I'm going to get her. And I'm going
and
to
you
get her.
know, when I first like when I read this part, I was like, no offense to like the Lucian Elaine shippers, but I totally prefer as Elaine so much
I
more.
do. I do as
And
well. And
I think
yeah.
Az is just doing. I mean, Az is probably doing this out of the like fact that he knows he needs to protect her because of what he like this woman means to everybody and the like the thing. He's like basically treating her as if she's high lady. Like
Yeah.
protection is his motivation, and it's like, but that's so fucking cute. That's what she
Right.
needs.
Right.
No offense, Lucian. I know you're off doing your own thing, and you're giving her space because you know that shit's going on with her right now. But like, fuck you. It's
Yeah.
as. It's all
I
as.
agree. I agree. I like that better. I'm sure she didn't want to do that because, like, Nesta and Cassian are literally perfect for each other, and she didn't want to
Yeah.
put the sisters with the two brothers. But come on.
Well, it's kind of one of those things too. It's like you already have the sisters with literally the High Lord and the High Lord's general. Why not with the High Lord's? Like it's
Right.
predictable.
Well, and maybe we're getting there eventually. Maybe Elaine is going to refuse Lucian, and maybe we never know.
I mean, Tamlin, maybe. I don't know if this canon or not, but refuse Amarantha.
Right. So,
So maybe I don't. Who knows? Anyways,
um,
um,
I was also cracking up because so then Feyre's like, I'm going with you, and Azriel nods, and Cassian's like, you're not gonna get far enough into the camp. And Feyre's like, I'm gonna walk right in, and she shifts. And Cassian just like goes, shit. And I was just cracking up because I can so picture it.
it's just like mouth open, eyes wide, like kind of shocked, like, oof.
Right.
But
Because Feyre shifts into Ianthe.
I think this is gonna be fun because it's like she looks pretty much identical to Ianthe, except for the fact she doesn't have the clothes, the circlet, anything like that on.
Right.
But I think this is gonna be good.
Yeah. Agreed. And then, like, so she borrows one of Az's siphons and has the blacksmith make the circlet. They borrow the robes, and they're not exact, but close enough.
Pretty
Like,
damn. Yeah, I mean it's in the
yeah,
dead of night.
yeah. So I feel like it's close enough. But then there's a quote on page 565 because Reese is like basically giving Feyre a pep talk, and he's like, they took what is ours. We do not allow those crimes to go unpunished. You do not fear. You do not falter. And then he says, remember that you are a wolf and you cannot be caged. And I literally wrote that down like an idiot instead of just putting quote. But I literally wrote out the whole thing in my notebook because I really, really liked
Yeah.
that.
Especially in today's time, like as a woman, it's like don't fear what they're trying to make you fear.
Yes, absolutely.
So
And then I just said, this is an insane plan. Like,
but
they're just
you
gonna
know,
walk right in.
those are the ones that work the best.
Right? I guess. Well, they've worked so far for Favor. Like, running into the Weaver's cottage was suicidal, but it worked. So I guess eventually her luck's got to run out, though, dude.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. And I think that isn't that what Reese said? Like, are you've been
Yes.
extremely lucky up till now.
Yes, he did. He was
Like,
like, I don't want our
stop.
luck to end with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, so here they are. They are walking into the heart of Hybern's army in chapter 65.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, this first test would be the most dangerous and informative because if she can get past the two guards up the front, then no one knows that
That
Ianthe
Ianthe
has
is dead.
died. Yeah.
I
Um,
do love that it says the six guards flanking the camp entrance monitored Ianthe strutting out of the dark with unmasked distaste. I love that the Highburn guards, these fucking shitbags, are disgusted by Ianthe. That made me really happy inside. I literally wrote Highburn in all caps. Like,
I
I
think it's
love,
funny because don't they see women as like not tools, but
but
like,
like inferior, like possessions.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
like the court of nightmares, like
yeah.
a way to breed.
Hmm.
Mm.
And they're disgusted by Ianthe. I fucking love that. Makes me laugh.
It's really sad when they already have such a low
A low
opinion on
bar, and then you're
like
like
females, and
below that.
you're lower.
Yeah.
Like, damn girl, who did you sleep with? Who did you fuck that like got you
Who
there?
didn't cheat? Who didn't cheat? Jesus
That's
Christ.
probably they're just like, man, she's gonna be pregnant with every single one of our babies.
Oh my God. Ooh
um,
wee.
oh, and then as soon she walks in, she sees like a human over on the rack, similar to how Claire Better died, and then she runs into Jurian, and Jurian takes one look at her and is like, "Bitch, I know it's you."
Feyre, God damn it.
But
Yes.
then she's like, he's like, she's been pining after me for weeks. Maybe you should act like it. And I was like, she's probably been pining after the whole damn army.
Right, right,
I literally wrote, I was like, I feel like she should have known Ianthe would have pined for many males at that camp with power, maybe even Tamlin if he was around.
right. Oh my god. But then yeah, just all of that. And then she's like, I have to save this girl on the thing. And I'm just like, I kind of
Girl,
like questioned myself because like Sarah's like, no, I have to save her. But I was just like, you can't. Like, you have to let that go. You can't save her and Elaine and get out alive. Like,
right? And you know, she's already been tortured. She's witnessed her children of the blessed people be like tortured, all of that. And I feel like it's great that they're saving the girl or like they plan on saving the girl, but she's probably so traumatized.
it'd probably be
She's
kinder
wishing
to
for
just
death.
kill her.
Yeah, I mean, there's been strong ass people out there, but I just feel like at this point after what she's witnessed, she's probably just like fuck kill me. See, and Kemper is in the background like fucking truth.
Yes, he is. Oh my gosh. He's shut out of my office and he is losing his mind. Oh my gosh.
Mob, how dare
Yes.
you?
Oh my gosh. Um, yeah. And then Jurian, so Feyre's like, where is she? And Jurian's like, were you smart enough to kill her before you took her skin? Like, don't fuck with me right now, Jurian. Where is my fucking sister?
But
Like,
she does have a point, or he does have a point. It's like she could be here already. Like, did you kill
right?
her? Like, did you just do this?
And she's like, she got what she deserved. Oh
I
my
mean, for
gosh.
real though.
And then he's like, come to my tent with me, Ianthe. Let me see what that pretty mouth can do.
Wink, wink.
Oh my god. I'm still like struggling with like Jurian as a good guy and not an evil
Mhm.
guy. Like, I'm still struggling with it. I didn't write
Yeah, it's.
anything until page 575 after that.
I already wrote my. I already sent my comment about page 575. It was the traumatized, wishing for death.
Oh yeah. Um I just said interesting, like he really got her. I wasn't like, first of all, Jurian is human. How did he get her off of that thing and out to this cliff? Like, what kind of distraction did he have to make happen to do that as a human in a fake camp without being caught?
Well, there
Just
are a bunch of ash weapons around. I wonder if he just like fired it
what?
at somebody, like screams, and then people go running, and he goes over and grabs them. I
I
don't know.
get, yeah. I don't know. I was just like, how did he do all that without getting caught? I was amazed.
Well, wasn't there people around like the spit that she was on?
Yeah, there were. That's why I'm like, he had to have done something and created some kind of diversion. Which you're probably right. He probably did like shoot an arrow into a crowd or something, and everybody went that way. And I don't
Dodge
know.
the arrow.
Right.
It's
Like, I'm
like
just
grown up too, or grown ups too. They shoot the. Have you ever seen that movie where they shoot the arrow up into the air and the last person to like
to run.
leave wins? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one. Anyways, um,
And then on page 576,
listen, fucking Tamlin comes out of
the
nowhere.
fucker. I
Like,
wrote, I wrote, he saved her, or all Tammy saves her, fucker.
I know, I was like, fucking Tamlin, man, finally doing something right. Well, and I think it's funny because, like, there's no talk of Tamlin. Durian doesn't say shit about Tamlin being at the camp. And it's like,
Uh-uh.
I feel like Durian probably would have been like, listen, Tamlin's going to know it's you. Like, don't run into him. Like, but it's just, he
But
didn't.
I
He didn't
almost
say
wonder,
anything.
well, because I almost wonder if Tamlin didn't go back there as a spy, and like if he and Jurian haven't been working together.
True.
Like, because Jurian could have told Tamlin she was there. I mean, maybe he smelled her or something, I guess. But like, how else did he know she was there?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess though,
I guess she was using his power too. He could have felt his power,
yeah,
like,
like that kernel of power, kind of like how
yeah,
Hellion might have sensed her.
yeah.
But yeah, he just like comes out of nowhere and starts attacking like the demon hounds or whatever they were, um, to help her out.
Yeah.
And then he even like helps her out a little bit later.
By
Like
bringing a spring wind.
yeah, and
He's
she's like, I
like,
didn't even know he had that power,
right. I was like, I didn't know you could even fucking do that. What?
right?
But
But like
fucking Elaine, like something
a
clicks and she comes into
queen,
herself and she's like, grab onto him to the human girl. And she's like just standing there and Elaine's like, if you want to live, do it now. And I'm just like, okay, Elaine. And then
and then
the hound or
yeah, the
Naga or
hound,
whatever it is.
Naga hound or
Naga
something,
hound
some species of Naga, like jumps onto
Az's
Az
back.
and starts hurting him, and she's just like giving him the 1-2 with her foot
Yeah, she just keeps kicking it in its eye. It literally says in its eye.
over and over until it just let go,
Yeah.
falling down deep into the ravine. It's like,
Right.
fuck
Like,
yeah, what a bitch.
go Elaine. She just like comes to
Yeah, finally.
and all of this and she's still in like bonds like from Highburn.
Yeah, she's in chains and everything. I wonder if it's kind of like, you know how Race was chained up, like each like limb was spread out like he was like an X. I wonder
Uh-huh.
if that was it and they just let go of the, or if it was like prisoner chains around like the feet and
Yeah, I was
hands.
assuming that her hands were like bound together, I guess, just because they were able to move her without breaking anything, it sounded like. I don't know.
True. And they probably assumed that she would be too scared to actually like
Right.
leave.
And well, and she doesn't know where she's at, right? Like where's she gonna go? Well,
Yeah,
they don't know that she knows where she's at, that she can do that.
yeah,
But I couldn't believe that they made it. Like
right.
they make it, they get out, they win Winnow back to camp, and Tamlin gets out.
Yeah, he like uses his wind power to propel him in his jump off the cliff far out past the wards so that he can just winnow away. And it's like, whoa, Tamlin, some redemption. Some. Not much, but some.
Minimal, but yeah. Like that's the least you could fucking do for everything you've
Right.
done.
And this is a comment for like next chapter, but it's like you these people really think Talen's the enemy. He went to such great lengths to get her back. And when she is actually in Hybern's hands and like possibly about to die, they don't think that maybe he'll be like pop out of nowhere and help out. Like he's so obsessed with her, the bad kind of obsessed, of love
Yeah.
basically, that he would do anything for her.
Yeah.
He's gonna save her no matter what. He might be a fucking idiot and horrible, but he's gonna help whether they
Yeah.
like it or not. But it's like she's
Yeah.
just really thick. Like they're all really thick to be
Well, I
like,
also
oh
think like after everything she did, like to sow distrust with his people and all that, I think that they think that he's pissed at her now, but like they're underestimating his like obsessive love. Like it's not even love,
yeah.
it's just obsession.
Well, and the fact that he came to the High Lords meeting and like the way he was talking shit about her, it was like the petty kind of talking shit,
Yeah.
not
Like
like
his
the
feelings are hurt or his
yeah. It's kind
pride
of like
is
how
hurt.
it's like Kanye West with the whole Kim
Oh
Kardashian
my
thing, like
god.
how he's like that's just some petty like love anger.
Yeah.
That's not like straight up
Yes.
furious pissed that like could have been happening.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yep. And then they get
Anyways,
back and they get Azriel healed and Feyre healed because she got shot. Um, and then the three sisters all just like cuddle in front of the fire basically and be
just
together.
basically relive their, I guess, childhood,
Right.
which is really sweet because it's like they were always like there was some weird at ends crap going on with them, and then they
Yeah.
just love each other, and it's just like we might never get this again. Like we're gonna cherish it now while we got it.
Right.
But
And then while you are pulling out the book, we should also need to, since we posted the link to the quiz, tell
oh
everyone our
right,
results. So it was kind of predictable, I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, it was. straight from the get-go, whenever we would ask each other, like, hey, what's your favorite court? What's this? What's that? And we'd answer it. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways,
Yes, I need to find it again. I don't even know
I'll read
where
off
it's
my
at.
results.
Okay.
So with this test, you get percentages on how like compatible you are with each of the courts. So my highest percentage, which was 33%, was the night court. I was also 26% winter court, and I think that's only because I was born in winter. I'm a winter baby, and I think um, like the colors or like what like a little bit of what I chose was more towards like winter colors slash night court colors. But anyways, 13% dawn court. I'm 6% for autumn, day, summer, and spring court. So I'm not a mermaid at heart. But I'm really glad I wasn't spring court. I probably would have been really pissed off.
Yeah, I
Like
would have definitely been really pissed off.
when I first did Pottermore and I was getting my like Harry Potter house, I was really pissed off that I got Slytherin, and I created several different emails to go back and retry the quiz. And
Of
it's like every
course
time,
you did.
and every single time, and it's really funny. I was talking to a coworker about this because she's a Slytherin too, and we were talking about how we were both pissed off we got Slytherin, and when we would try again, she's like, "Did you cheat to try to get Gryffindor?" And I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I tried to cheat to get Gryffindor." She goes, "And that's why we're Slytherin."
Oh shit, I just took it again and got a different result.
You took it
Yeah, because
again?
it didn't save my
You
results.
didn't screenshot it?
I don't think I did. So I just took it again and
I
got something different.
see. That's the thing about quizzes. When I look at them, I'm like, oh well, I'm a little bit this, I'm a little bit of that. I guess I'll choose this one, and then I'll choose that one next. Like I'll take it again.
I didn't screenshot it. So last time I got the Dawn Court, which made a lot of sense to me. This time, that's not, well, I guess technically it's my top two. So I got 20% Winter Court and 20% Day Court. Those both kind of make sense to me, I guess.
Okay, whatever.
Um, then 13 Autumn, 13 Summer, 13 Dawn, 13 Night. 6% Spring Court. Like,
That's still the same.
literally, Winter Court and Day Court tied for first. All the other ones tied for second, and then Spring Court's down there at the bottom, which is 6%.
I think before you had like spring and like two other like autumn and like one other court at like 6%,
Yeah,
and then you had like dawn or something like that for like 13% compared with another one, something like
yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
funny.
So
I
there's
see that. I see that. Okay.
it's fine.
Anyway, so we got our weird but true facts.
Yes, we
Um,
do.
so for the first one, number 84, it's called Emerald Island. The Caribbean island of Montserrat, perhaps, is the only place other than Ireland that celebrates St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, as a national holiday. The first Irish Catholic settlers arrived on the island in 1632, ferried in from the island of St. Kitts after the British Protestant governor ordered them to be driven out. Montserrat soon became a refuge for Irish Catholics, and by 1678, more than half the island's population had Irish roots.
Huh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay. The next one is number 130. This one is Hanging Empty. In the early morning of March 18th, 1990, two men dressed in police uniforms broke into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston, stealing 13 works of art, including paintings and drawings by Vermeer, Rembrandt, Degas, and Manet. It was the largest art theft in history. More than 20 years later, the works have not been recovered and are valued today at around $500 million. In the museum, the frames of the stolen artwork remain in their places on the gallery walls as placeholders, empty and waiting for the return of the treasures. According to the Art Loss Register, Pablo Picasso is the artist whose work is stolen most frequently. Hundreds of Picassos have been stolen from museums, galleries, businesses, and private homes, including a theft in 2007 from the home of Picasso's granddaughter.
Wow.
That's fucked up. How dare you?
Yeah, that's kind of insane. Like,
let me go into Picasso's granddaughter's room or house and
And
steal his
steal
work.
her, right, and steal her grandpa's stuff.
That's fucked up.
It's
Anyways,
also kind of wild to think about that his granddaughter, like Picasso's granddaughter, was alive in 2007 or is alive in 2007.
yeah,
Like,
when
because
growing
when I
up,
think of Picasso, I think of like that was hundreds of years
1600s.
ago.
Yeah,
Right?
like when I think of Pablo Picasso, I was like, oh man, he must have been around the time that like Leonardo da Vinci and everything that was going on. And my mom would be like, no, he was
No.
like born and he was like alive in the 40s. And I was like,
Right? Like, and we don't, it's so crazy how warped our sense of history is the way that it's done
yeah.
here in the United States. Like,
Well, and honestly, not gonna lie, I wonder if like history, not history, but like events in history that really like skew timelines because COVID happened and now I'm like, did this happen before COVID? Did this happen like when I talk about like, oh yeah, when I first got COVID, like it was before the vaccine and I was like, was that 19 or 2019? No, that can't be 2019. Was that 2020? Well, if it was 2019, I was here, and then like I just get like super like messed up, and like
yeah.
it's just a blur, and I don't know when was what. So it's really weird.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, and like, it's also wild to think that like Martin Luther King Jr. and Anne Frank were
Same age.
the same age.
Yeah,
Like,
same
and
age.
both of them would have been younger than Betty White.
And Betty
Like,
White's older than sliced bread. That's fucking. How did they eat
yes.
bread? Did they just like tear it off? Like, it's history is weird. History is weird.
Well, no, I feel like
And
they
for
sliced it, but like it didn't come sliced. You couldn't
oh,
buy it that way.
okay, okay. I was thinking like literally, like it
Like,
just
how do
wasn't
you, did you just rip
like
it into chunks like a
well,
Neanderthal?
like I know in like early like the Renaissance, like Bronze Age or whatever, like you would take your bread and like rip it off
And like
and then
dip
eat it
it.
that way. And
Yeah.
actually, I learned a fact about the ancient Greeks. They wouldn't eat the bread. They would literally use the bread as like a napkin, and then they would give the bread to their dog when they're done, and like the dog would eat it.
I love that.
I was like, bread for a napkin? What? So yeah.
Yeah, some of
Anyway,
that's definitely going to make it into my mouth because I like carbs. So,
same. I ain't got a belly for no reason.
yeah. Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
last one. There's a word for this too. The study of flags is called vexillology. This word comes from the Latin for curtain.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
All
weird,
right.
weird but true.
Weird
All
but
right,
true.
we got 3 chapters left.
Three
We get this.
chapters. Um, what chapter are we on now?
66.
Oh, 66. Okay, yeah. The first thing I said was I love that she's like telling the matron, get food for my sisters, and the matron's like, bitch, did you eat? I'm
It's
just
like,
like,
all right,
fucking
mom.
yes. Well, I just
It's
love
like,
that
all
because
right,
I feel
mom.
like that's me. Like, I'm so worried about making sure everybody else is good that I don't take care of me. So, like, I love that the matron, like, sees through that and is like, no, bitch, I'm going to get you
Right.
some food too. Like, I
Yeah.
love
So
that.
like, so like if I wake up and I'm like I'm not hungry yet, but I could be, and Will's just like, hey, you gonna make breakfast? Because like I know not that he won't make breakfast. He's just lazy. He doesn't want to make it. Um, he wants to stay in bed as long as possible. And I'll just sit there and I'll be like, and then I will wait until the last possible minute. And like, let's say I have to go to work. I will be like, yeah, I'm okay. I'll make you breakfast real quick, and I'll make him breakfast. But then I don't have time to make me breakfast, and then I go give him food, and then I don't even like think about anything. And he'll be like, "Did you eat something? Did you get anything to eat?" And I'll be like, "No, I just made your breakfast. I didn't have time to make mine." And he goes, "Well, how about you eat this?" And like, I will just go make my breakfast. And I was like, "No, I made it the way you like it." He goes, "I don't care. Like, what do you want to eat?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't have time."
Right. No, I do the same thing. Or,
And
like,
it's just
I'll cook dinner and, like, some things, get done. Like, you make one, like waffles, for instance. When I make waffles for dinner, you make one waffle at a time. I don't have 8 waffle irons. So, like, I'll make everybody else's waffles and then I'll just stand in the kitchen and eat mine while I'm making everybody else's. And they're like, are you going to sit down and eat? And I'm like, no.
no.
Like, or during like the holidays, like when I cook Thanksgiving dinner and like we have the one side of the family come over for dinner, like usually I'm like eating in the kitchen while I'm cooking and making sure everybody else has food, and like I don't ever
Yeah.
end up actually sitting down with a plate.
Yep, I get that.
But anyway, I liked that because it made me think of myself.
Right? It's relatable.
Yes. Then I don't have anything else
Um,
till 588.
so something on 586. Okay, so I read something today. So ever since I like looked up things on Reddit over the various things, I get notifications about like that thread. And one popped up today about the Akatar thread. And so the book basically said Kalias's army was still winnowing in supplies and units of warriors. His court made up of high fae with either his snow white hair or hair of blackest night, skin ranging from moon pale to rich brown. In this Reddit thing, literally was oh, what was it? Basically, okay, well, I don't know where it's at. I don't know what it was, if it was like a game or kind of like one of those like online sites where you like create your character and like you just, it's a fandom that you create your character for, and then you get like, you place yourself in some place. I don't know the premise of it. All I know is that this person was like, I wanted to join this specific group. It was the Winter Court group, but because I'm African American, my character was going to be African American, and a moderator or whoever it was for that thing responded back to him saying, "Hey, thanks for your interest in this, blah blah blah, Akatar this, Akatar that." And then at the very end of it, it was like a huge spiel, but he like covered it all out and just circled the most important part. It said, "Your skin tone is a little bit too uh, dark to be a part of the winter court. Like your skin tone would be more suited for like summer court or even like day court." And I'm sitting there like, bitch, the book literally says
Yes,
darkest
yeah.
brown. It's there.
It's right
And
there.
I think it's like under review for like racism and shit like that, or like not being,
Yeah.
inclusive for anything and everything. But it just is like, what? It's kind of like what's going on right now with like different shows and movies. Like with,
The Little Mermaid.
yeah, Little Mermaid. People are getting pissed off because uh, I, I keep wanting to say Halle Berry. I don't remember. I don't know her name, to be honest. Um,
Halle Bailey.
Bailey. That's why I keep wanting to say Halle Berry. Haley. God damn it. Whatever her name is. Uh, because she's black, and it's like, I don't really care that she's black. I'm just gonna be pissed off because it's a live action movie of my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's never as good. Although I will say, like, even though she can't sing, Emma Watson is Belle. I was
Yeah,
so happy. I actually really like the live action adaptation of Beauty and the Beast.
same.
Um, when the first
I
time
was
I watched
pleasantly
it,
surprised.
yeah, the first time I watched it, I was like, but like the
And
more I thought about it and the more I watched it, the more I loved it.
Emma Watson's not even that bad of a singer. And it's like she never had any like coaching, and she was super terrified to like sing. And what was supposed to be was she was going to sing, and then they were going to they were going to have her or whatever do it in the studio, make it sound nice, and then place it over. That's what they were going to do, or what she thought they were going to do. But then the director was like, "No, just sing as if you're like actually singing it." And he liked it so much, he's like, "No, I'm gonna keep it." And she was like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
But I feel like that's what happens. Like she was comfortable, and because she was comfortable, it was probably
"Good,
better.
yeah."
Yeah.
So that was nice. But anyways, that Reddit comment really just was like uncalled for.
Yeah, like wow. Also, I have to
It's
say
canon. It's there.
my well, that too. But also I was just going to say, like, this is not related to that necessarily, but I in my opinion is that the best Disney live action remake so far, of the newer ones, not including like 101 Dalmatians, cuz like Glenn Close is a queen, but anyway, Um, I like the Aladdin remake the best.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
And I think it's because they didn't try to make it the original. Like Will Smith didn't try to be Robin Williams. They made it
He did
new.
his own spin on it.
Yes.
And they also like were very cognizant of actual like uh I wouldn't say history of
Culture.
like yeah, culture. Like it's Friday, not Sunday. Sunday's Christianity kind of like day of prayer, but Friday
Yeah.
is for Islam, and I just think it's really nice.
Also, the annoying prince that she's like, "You're a fucking idiot," is King, the voice of King Julian, and I fucking love it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I love you, King Julian.
Yes. You know, for a cartoon show, that show, like All Hail King Julian, is fucking hilarious. Definitely watch it. Okay, anyway, we're not gonna make it through this if we, we don't shut up. Oh
Anyways,
my gosh.
ooh, 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 ooh. And the
Okay,
best part of this entire fucking
yes.
book,
Yes. So I literally wrote fucking yes because I was so like
our
just
queen is gay, and I'm here for it.
yes. So more comes out to Farah, and I'm just like, holy shit. And she's like explaining why she slept with Cassian, why she won't sleep with Az, and how like it didn't mean anything to Cassian, it didn't mean anything to Helion, like, but it would to Az, and so she can't do that to him and like let his dreams come true and then be like, oh by the way,
Shatter it.
yeah. So like I love all of that. I think that she needs to tell the family,
Yeah,
but the part,
maybe tell them after this whole thing is done.
yeah, yeah. Where is it?
Not that they would judge her any different for it, but I get the anxiety about it. But like, I think if she focuses so much on the anxiety of telling the family that she prefers females, it I mean, it might feel good for her, but also she might feel like she's got to go out and like get that last minute like whatever in before she possibly dies in this war. And it's like
Yeah,
plus a lot of people face that anxiety of telling like family members and like people they trust and care for, and
I
so it's
have been
very
there.
relatable.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. The part that made me cry was on page 592 at the top, which I'm jumping ahead just a tiny bit. But on page
That
592
was
at the
all I
top,
read.
she's like, I'm not sure I can give my entire heart to him that way, and I love him enough to want him to find someone who can truly love him like he deserves. And I love myself. I love myself enough to not want to settle until I find that person too. If I can even work up the courage to tell the world first. My gift is truth, and yet I've been living a lie my entire existence. And like her saying that she loves herself enough, like at that part, like was the part that made me cry because like I remember going through that and I remember feeling that and I remember going through the feeling further on from that of being like no, like I love myself, and if my family can't love me for who I am, then they don't really love me anyway. Um,
Yeah.
and I remember saying that. I remember saying respectfully, you can't say I love you, but fuck that. Like I love you, but is not a thing you can say. No,
Right.
I love you. I love you unconditionally. There's no but to that. So I remember going through that and like so that part made me tear up a little bit. A little bit outside here. Tearing
Yeah.
up. Not to mention I've been emotional anyway with everything going on at work, but like I definitely teared up. But I said I like skipped forward because her like first love, her like first female love was a human queen. I'm gonna butcher this name, but Andromache,
Actually, it's
Andromache,
in Dramaki.
Andromache. Okay,
Yeah.
right. This is Greek.
Andromeda Andromaki.
Okay,
I looked it up. It's a Greek name.
yeah, a lot of these names are Greek. So anyway, but she was
Yeah,
human,
it's either like Greek or like Irish in a way.
and she was a ancestor of the Golden Queen. We also find out, which
Yeah, that's why the golden because the Golden Queen. Oh, it's Demetra, not. I thought it was like Andromeda. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Forget that.
Um. Yeah. And then I wrote page 598. Okay, I didn't write anything else to page 598.
I'm done with this chapter.
Oh
I
shit.
don't write
Okay.
anything else.
On 598, um oh, they're kind of like, we have to have strength, or Callius says, we'll need all the strength we have to fight Hybern, wasting it on winnowing humans. And Thayr's like, it is no waste. One life may change the world. Where would you all be if someone had deemed saving my life to be a waste of time? Um,
Yeah.
and then Vivian looks at Callius, which is her like husband and her mate, and is like bitch, and
Excuse me.
he like apologizes, and then Amryn comes out and she's like, that's great that you're going to do all that because I need a distraction, and you battling them is going to be the distraction that I need because I figured out how we're going to stop the whole army. So like
Yeah.
snaps for Amryn. We're going to get through
I
this. I
know.
only have like 3 things written for the next 2 chapters.
Same.
So
Anyways, chapter 67.
yes, Amryn needs the 4 maid people, Elaine, Amryn, Nesta, and Feyre, to be able to touch the cauldron so they can nullify the person controlling the cauldron, which is Hybern. And so they're gonna nullify him, like basically wink him and his whole army out of existence. Like fuck yeah. I love that. Um and the only thing they're worried about is like what if he's like using the cauldron as a weapon on the battlefield, which is like a possibility, but I also
Yeah, it's
feel
always a
that
possibility.
Hybern's like, I feel like he's gonna wait until he has to bring that cauldron out of
Wherever.
hiding or whatever, like out of protection. But I do think that after she just waltzed right into his fucking camp, he's gonna have extra protection around it. So I don't think it's gonna be as easy as just walking in.
Yeah. And they've already used like a type of thing where they can't, um, like an illusion kind of spell or
Yeah,
whatever. So they're
yeah,
definitely not going to be able to use that again.
right. Um, did you have anything else on that page? My next thing is on 602.
Mine's not till 6:03.
Well, I was just waiting on Feyre to do this because I've been waiting because I figured she was going to at some point because she's a Gryffindor too, and they're all self-sacrificing and noble and all that shit. And so I've been waiting for her to go get the Ouroboros to get the bone carver, and here she fucking goes.
And I basically just wrote, finally, we're back to the Ouroboros.
Yeah. So here we
And
are.
for our last chapter, we find out. So she basically winnows over there. She like walks up to it. She sees this creature in it that what is it? It
A
she
a massive beast of claws and
Thank you.
scales and fur and shredding teeth inching toward the floor towards me.
And she's like kind of terrified, but she's like, okay, I'm not going to turn around and make it see me. I'm going to just stand here with my like knight dagger in hand, like ready to go. And then all of a sudden she turns around and nothing's there. She turns back around and her reflection's gone. It's just the creature that she sees, and turns out it's her reflection. So she is truly using the Ouroboros to see her true self, not necessarily what she is underneath her skin, but her character.
Yeah.
So it shows your hidden image essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And she describes the Ouroboros too as like a mirror with like black glass basically, and like a snake circling the entire thing, and then it comes up to like bite its tail. So like life begins and ends kind of like ordeal.
Yeah, it's also a symbol that often is used for people who believe in reincarnation or like
Mm-hmm.
past lives because it's like the circle of life. It just keeps continuing and continuing.
Yeah, and if
Um,
anyone ever watches anime, it's there's an what is it? I keep wanting to say Avatar: The Last Airbender, but that's because I'm watching that right now. It's Full Metal Alchemist. In both series, either the Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, there is a bad group called the Seven Deadly Sins, and all their tattoos are the Ouroboros.
Cool. I read a
Fun fact.
trilogy that was about the Ouroboros and like a society of people who like went into a trance or like drug induced trances basically to see their past lives and yada yada. But
Oh, that's
anyway,
cool.
yeah, so I thought that the whole thing was weird how like I thought the whole scene of her looking into the Ouroboros and all of that was just weird. Like it was just
Yeah,
really really
it was super
strangely
quick.
written. Yeah.
Well, and it's
And
like we
abrupt.
we're sitting here talking all about the possible what ifs could happen, and then Lotus just walks up to it, and then a creature crawls down, and then that's the end of
And
it.
that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the climax was not there. It was just like you just
Okay.
like fell off the cliff. Like it wasn't even a cliffhanger. It was just there. But
Yeah.
anyways, whatever.
And
She
then he's
goes to
like,
the prison.
yeah. And she's like, oh, he's like, oh, I didn't have any use of that. What?
I
He's
just wanted to
like,
see if you're worthy.
yeah, basically, it's a rare person to face who they truly are and not run from it, not be broken by it. That's what the Ouroboros shows anyone who looks into it, who they are, every despicable and unholy inch. Some gaze upon it and don't even realize that the horror they're seeing is them, even as the terror of it drives them mad. Some swagger in and are shattered by the small, sorry creature they find instead. But you, yes, rare indeed. I could risk leaving here for nothing less. I literally just wrote, what a dick. Like,
Yeah. But
but
you know
she
what?
grabs his hand and here they fucking go.
The carver enters the playing field. What a
Yeah.
cliffhanger. So we'll find out more what happens next episode.
Yes. So I found a really quick witchy tip because our weekly witch tip or witch tip of the week or whatever you want to call it. Um because I have been having crazy dreams lately. Like
Yo,
most
same.
dude, and most of them are about work or whatever else I'm stressing about, but like
Yeah.
they've just been wild and then I wake up and like the other day I had this whole like long dream that like Brittany was leaving me and she was kicking me out of the house and like I was gonna have to figure out she was like giving me money for my portion of the house, but like we were just it was like this whole big thing. I told her about it when we woke up. And like I woke up like in a panic and like my chest hurt and I was upset and like I was just super like it felt so real and then like I could feel the cat on my feet and I was like, okay, wait, like I'm at home, I'm in bed, she's right there.
You
So I was
grounded yourself.
reach out and touch her and I was like, okay, everything's fine. But like I've just been having really crazy dreams. So this is a list of things, not all of it's for nightmares, but like that you can put under your pillow or in your pillowcase. um it's most of them are crystals, but some of them are herbs. So amethyst is for nightmares. You can put an amethyst under your pillow for nightmares. Rose quartz for headaches. Labradorite or numite, I think is how you say that, to boost any spells you've got going on. Snowy quartz for when you're revising or studying for exams. Lavender for good sleep. Rosemary is also for when you're studying and revising exams. Yarrow, is that how you say that?
I
Yarrow,
think
for
Yarrow.
dreaming of your true love, and bay for protection. So
Hmm.
I need to dig out an amethyst crystal and put it in my pillowcase because my dreams are really fucked up.
Yeah, I would say mine are too. I also think it's
Anyway,
just Mercury retrograde right now, fucking with me.
my God, yes. I like went through in the past 24 hours. I have gone through like a full on mental breakdown where I was like, I shouldn't have gone back to teaching. This was a huge mistake, to now feeling good about it again. And like, I still have my misgivings and I'm still like, like, but my administration, specifically my principals, really had my back today. And so I'm feeling better about it because that's refreshing and new for me. So, um,
That's
anyway,
good though.
yeah,
But
but
remember, You said last time for the witch tip, don't make
Yep,
any drastic decisions during this time because what could be happening might not be what it's going to be forever. It's just for right
exactly. I
now.
was actually thinking about that as I was going to bed last night. I was like, but in any event, I'm on a contract and I wouldn't break my contract. Like I would finish out the year for my students either way. But I was wondering if I made a mistake.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense. But
I don't think I
okay.
did. I don't know. Anyway, bye,
Until next
witches.
time.
Bye.